Under the regime of Nicolás Maduro, which endured for over a decade until its recent collapse in early 2026, singles navigating faith and daily existence faced profound challenges. Economic devastation, coupled with restrictions on religious freedom and expression, tested the resilience of believers. This article explores these realities, drawing on recent insights into Venezuela's socio-political landscape while highlighting how faith serves as an anchor for single Christians in this vibrant yet turbulent country. Keywords like Christian single life in Venezuela often bring up stories of perseverance, where individuals balance personal aspirations with communal worship. With Christianity dominating the religious scene, approximately 90% of Venezuelans identify as Christian. Singles find solace in church activities, but the Maduro era imposed layers of hardship that made everyday life a spiritual battleground. The economic struggles, surviving hyperinflation, and shortages as a single Christian. Venezuela's economy under Maduro was a textbook case of collapse, marked by hyperinflation, plummeting oil production, and widespread poverty. By late 2025, the nation had devolved into a zombie economy, a barely functional with oil output slashed by over 1.5 million barrels per day due to mismanagement and international sanctions. GDP contracted dramatically, one of the largest peacetime declines in history, leading to child mortality spikes, business closures, and mass emigration. For single Christians, these economic difficulties amplified the isolation of singlehood, turning basic survival into a daily ordeal. Imagine waking up in Caracas or Maracaibo as a single professional, perhaps a teacher or doctor, earning a mere $6 to $10 monthly. Hyperinflation eroded purchasing power, making essentials like food, medicine, and utilities unaffordable. Singles without family support networks bore the brunt, often relying on church communities for aid. One testimony from a Brazilian pastor visiting Venezuela described a reality where there's no electricity, water, gas, and people are starving. This scarcity forced many to queue for hours in bread lines or endure power outages that disrupted online Bible studies and virtual fellowships. As a single Christian, dating and building relationships became secondary to survival. Economic pressures delayed marriages. Young adults couldn't afford homes or weddings amid soaring costs. Churches stepped in, offering soup kitchens and support groups, but even these were strained. A Venezuelan Christian shared how families were left with cards to buy food, no credit, no food, highlighting the regime's control over resources. For singles, this meant prioritizing faith over romance, finding companionship in prayer groups rather than social outings. The dictatorship's policies exacerbated inequality. Maduro's supporters blamed economic war from abroad, but internal mismanagement, corruption in the oil sector, and failed price controls drove the crisis. Singles in rural areas faced even harsher conditions, with fuel shortages limiting travel to church services. Yet amid this, faith provided hope. Many singles volunteered in church outreach, distributing aid and sharing testimonies, turning economic despair into opportunities for evangelism. Restrictions on religious freedom and expression, a muzzled faith under Maduro. While Venezuela's constitution guarantees religious freedom, the Maduro regime systematically curtailed it, especially for those voicing dissent. Experts warned of increased persecution in 2026, with efforts to delegitimize the Catholic Church and control evangelical sectors. Non-Catholic denominations, including Protestants and evangelicals, faced arbitrary registration barriers, excessive taxes, and government interference. The 2017 law against hatred was weaponized to target clergy criticizing the government, labeling them as traitors. For single Christians, this lack of freedom meant navigating faith with caution. Churches couldn't openly pray against the president without risking closure, arson, or arrests. Faith-based media outlets were shut down, limiting access to Christian broadcasts and forcing reliance on underground networks. Singles, often more active in youth ministries or online communities, felt the chill of surveillance. Expressing views on social media about the regime's injustices could lead to harassment, making open evangelism risky. The regime politically manipulated religion, favoring certain evangelical groups while suppressing others. This divided the Christian community, with some leaders coerced into supporting Maduro. For singles seeking partners, this created dilemmas, aligning with regime-friendly churches for safety or joining dissenting groups at personal peril. One account described how the fear dominates, with temples closed for opposition. Yet this repression fostered deeper faith. Singles turned to private Bible studies, finding strength in scriptures like Psalm 23, which speaks of walking through valleys of shadow. Societal pressures compounded these issues. In a predominantly Christian nation, singles faced expectations to marry young, but economic woes and restrictions hindered this. Churches, though muzzled, became sanctuaries where singles could express themselves subtly through worship songs coated with messages of hope and justice. Daily life, balancing faith, work, and relationships in a crisis. Life as a single Christian in Venezuela under Maduro was a tapestry of routine disrupted by crisis. Mornings might start with prayer amid blackouts, followed by work in underpaid jobs. Teachers earned pennies, doctors struggled without supplies, and entrepreneurs navigated closed industries. Afternoons involved church volunteering, distributing scarce food, or leading youth groups, providing purpose and community. Dating posed unique challenges. With mass emigration, millions fled the crisis. Potential partners were scarce. Singles relied on church events for meetings, but economic constraints limited outings. One Venezuelan shared entering a church for solace and receiving a medallion of the Virgin of Coromodo, a symbol of divine companionship amid loneliness. Faith became a surrogate for romance, with singles focusing on spiritual growth through fasting, retreats, and service. Positive aspects emerged too. The crisis deepened bonds. Churches Apadrin Aron sponsored families, extending to singles through mentorship. Online platforms, despite internet woes, connected believers globally, offering virtual dating within Christian circles, community support, and coping strategies. Churches were lifelines, organizing aid despite restrictions. In one story, a family hid their Jewish identity while posing as Catholics, illustrating broader religious concealment under pressure. For Christian singles, support groups addressed emotional needs, emphasizing verses like Philippians 4:13 for strength. Prayer and fellowship were key coping tools. Amid shortages, believers shared resources, embodying Acts 2:44-45. Singles found joy in missions like helping starving neighbors, transforming hardship into testimony. Hope on the horizon, post-Maduro prospects for single Christians. With Maduro's capture in early 2026 via U.S. actions, Venezuela enters a transitional phase. Economic recovery looms, though uneven, with oil investments returning cautiously. Religious freedoms may expand, ending the era of muzzled faith. For single Christians, this signals renewed opportunities for expression, relationships, and prosperity. In conclusion, life as a Christian single in Venezuela under Maduro was marked by economic despair and religious curbs, yet fortified by unyielding faith. As the nation rebuilds, these resilient believers embody hope, proving that even in darkness, light prevails. Whether seeking love, career stability, or spiritual depth, single Christians in Venezuela continue to inspire with their steadfastness.